So, we all know what's going on with Unity. They have changed their pricing and it sucks. So, yesterday, Unity published a blog about pricing information and they titled the blog Unity Runtime Fee. And this change will take effect starting from next year. And it has just shaken the whole Unity community because I don't think anyone is liking it. As for myself, I think I will not be affected by the changes here, but nonetheless, it sucks because what is Unity doing here? It's just not correct to do it this way. So if we take a look at the blog post, as you can see, for Unity Personal and Unity Plus users, you will have to pay a 20 cents per install. Yes, you heard me right, 20 cent per install, not per purchased or anything like that, but per install. Now, of course, there are some thresholds to this. Like for this to take effect, you will have to at least have 200k revenue in the last 12 months, and you have to get the 200 install over the lifetime of your project. So it's per project basis. And if you get the pro version of Unity, both of the numbers goes to 1,000,000, which I think for an indie dev, it's nearly impossible to reach that number. If you don't get that much lucky, I don't think you're gonna reach that number ever in your life. So I don't think I'm gonna be affected by this change, but it's not fair because 20 cent per install is just something that nobody should have to deal with. I have never in my life seen this kind of pricing. Unreal doesn't have any kind of subscription or anything. It's completely free until you make $1 million, then it's 5% royalty. And in my opinion, that's a pretty fair game, in their case. But what Unity is doing here, nobody seems to understand what they're doing. Because how the hell are you going to track those installs? I mean, just hear me out. You can have pirated copies. When someone buys your game, they buy only one time, but they may install your game 100 times. That happens when you switch your workstation or you got a new, that happens, and a guy can install your game multiple times. And then what are you going to do? Are you going to pay your fee multiple times? And what Unity is saying, yes, you will have to pay for every install, even if the user installed your game before. And why is that? Because they can't legally track this kind of data. I think in UK and California and some other places, this kind of things are illegal. You cannot track who is installing your game or how many times they're installing their game. This kind of tracking is illegal. So they can't legally track this kind of data. How the hell they're going to track this kind of data? It's pretty confusing to me. But in my opinion, they'll have to revert all of this, or they have to make some significant changes in their pricing because they have already lost a great number of big indie devs. They're just pissed off with this. They're not happy getting this kind of contract pushed onto them. It's like blackmail. And as I said before, these changes are not going to affect me personally, but for a lot of people and for a lot of indie devs, these things are about loyalty. And how do I say this? These changes will also affect games published before 2024. Any game that has been published with the Unity engine is going to be affected by this change. And when those games were made and published, devs didn't agree to this condition or this agreement, and that's the big part. A lot of devs feel that Unity doesn't have that kind of loyalty to them to continue working on their engine, and it's pretty sad to me because I really love Unity. I really do. I've been using Unity for 6 to 7 years now, and I just love the engine. I don't know why, but I have an emotional connection to the engine. But if they're doing something like this, and I don't know why they're doing it like this, it just breaks my heart to see these kind of changes in Unity. And the whole Unity community is shaken, and I don't know what to say right now. What I do know is, or at least what I hope is, Unity will revert all of these changes they're making, or at least make some significant change in their runtime fees or whatever they're trying to do here, and make some significant changes here, because this seriously needs some significant changes. And I hope Unity clarifies all of this and just clears all the confusions and just get things back to normal. I love Unity. I I feel like I have an emotional connection to Unity. And as I said before, it breaks my heart to see this. So Unity, please do something about this. You have already lost a lot of good indie devs. A lot of small studios are thinking to switch from Unity to another engine. And if they don't change anything here, I think it's the downfall of Unity. And if they keep the runtime fees as they are right now in the near future, I might switch from Unity because I don't know, man. This is just isn't right. I mean, after a certain threshold, you could have just, asked for a 4 to 7, 8% royalty. That would been fine. That would make sense. Or the previous Unity pricing was great. You could have kept the previous pricing, or you could have threshold like Unreal. Let's say after 1 million revenue generated from your game, you will ask for a 4%, 5%, 6%, 7% royalty. That would have been fine. I think most devs would appreciate that. But this, what you are doing here, is just not right. So Unity, please make this right.